Hello there, dear beloved goddess, and I suppose we have some gods watching on occasion as well, our divine masculines. I have quite a story to tell you. My name is Rochelle Richard. I tend to forget to introduce myself. And I am the founder, CEO, and self-love empowerment coach here at Empowerment Experiences. And Empowerment Experiences was created as a result of me having to discover for myself that it was up to me to reclaim my power. That I needed to figure out how and then do it. And as I am getting ready to start publishing, bios and working on my book that is pretty much an autobiography of what has been my wild journey, I'm not the woman who on one hand can say just had a one narcissistic abusive relationship, or just got misdiagnosed bipolar and turned into a zombie, or just had anxiety so severe I couldn't leave my house before I figured out I was a highly sensitive, intuitive empath. Former drug-addicted, pimped-out prostitute. I've been arrested, assaulted, raped, gang-raped, traumatized, manipulated, gaslighted. Did I mention assaulted in there? Yeah. Even my own coach, when I first started, my current one, when I first started working with her a couple months ago, she was like, okay, so you just kind of brush over what you went through. Don't do that. Don't do that, okay? Because we do those things to minimize ourselves, to dim our lights. We have that little voice in the back of our heads that says, oh, nobody cares. Oh, everybody went through the same shit. Nobody cares. Your story's no different. Well, it is. It's your story, just as mine is my journey, my life. And as I've said, empowerment experiences comes from me choosing to look back over all that was my life. And instead of continuing to be the victim, as I was so very well taught, as most of us have been taught, that we get to choose to find our power and look at the experiences from our journey as empowerment experiences, as each and every little thing that we went through being or housing a gift, something in that experience that helps us to grow stronger and wiser and better than what we were before we had that experience. But if we sit and we say, oh, this happened to me, or one of my long held, which that's the story where we're going to get in a moment here, is as you saw, overcoming a mother's toxic behaviors. It's been quite one of, that was another thing, is being told I was a mistake by my mother and encouraged to kill myself by the time I was 12. So again, I thought that was normal. I thought it was normal to have my feelings manipulated, to be devalued like that. It's not, okay? But I spent so long believing what my mother had said, that I was a mistake. I mean, she said it so succinctly that day that I very vividly recall it still. Now, previously, there would be some kind of big emotion. Like, obviously, I'm swallowing a little bit, but that honestly is because I'm in the desert, and I'm not going to pretend that I'm not getting in the water intake that I need to for living in the desert. We are in the dry season, and you feel it. it. That's why I have some herbal tea. What is it? Or spicy, like cinnamon something or other. I don't even know. It's good. But the things that are so rooted to our core are gonna be the things that are not gonna want to fucking let go. I mean, you'll hear me here. You will hear me say that not only did I believe I was a mistake, that morphed into believing that I was a cosmic joke, which that then had me believing that it wasn't that, what was happening. It was never that I deserved better. It was literally that I deserved all the bad that was happening to me. I actually believed I deserved being assaulted and raped and traumatized and manipulated and treated like shit. I mean, I was, after all, a cosmic joke. To all the mothers out there, please be very, very mindful of the words you say to your daughters. Because she will resent you. And perhaps she becomes someone like me who finally says, you know what? You taught me how to loathe myself. I taught myself how to love myself. To realize that, wow, how could I have possibly believed that I deserved all those horrible things? That I was so horrible. I'm not. I know that for sure. But it's been one hell of a journey of healing, of creating that detachment. Especially from the obligatory bullshit that because she's my mother, I have to put up with her toxicity, or I have to participate in the family dynamic. I have to, what's the word? There's a word on the tip of my tongue. That I have to subject myself. There we go. That I have to subject myself to her manipulations. No, that's just bullshit. BS, belief systems, bullshit. Anything that keeps you in a toxic situation, no matter who it's with, you are responsible for your point of attraction. You are responsible for your experience. And if someone else is bringing you down, you have every right to say, nope, not a part of my life anymore. But it's challenging to get there. It's so challenging to get from a place of perceived obligation to a place of I'm not responsible for her feelings. I'm responsible for mine. And as long as I can keep myself in that feel good place, no matter what she says or does, then damn, have I grown. So I wanted to share this story here. We're finally to that, almost 10 minutes in, about my Christmas gift with my family. Now, I live in Arizona. I grew up in Kansas, in the country. Parents are still married. I'm the oldest of 4 kids. The last time I went back was at least 4 years ago. And it was the last time. It was the last time. Woo! That's got some kick. It's sweet and spicy. Holy moly. Because you see, again, I spend my time in such a dreadful state. And I get there and It's every time uncomfortable and just not pleasant at all. To hear some of the things that she says, can't do it. And to be around someone who is so toxic. Now, I want to point something out, that as you do more and more work on yourself and you relieve the anger, like right now I'm sitting here practically telling the story with a smile on my face. And we're not going to pretend that there's not, little pockets of, irritability still that remain, I'm sure. But at this point, I'm like, I love me more. I really do love me more. And my life is so much better because of that, because of shifting that perspective, that I'm no longer operating from a victim mentality, as my mother does. She's good at being a victim. But that's one of the energy vampires, is someone who is constantly in victim mode, displays narcissistic, manipulative behaviors as a result of that victimization, that victim way of being. So, Christmas, I ended up receiving a letter from a niece of mine I hadn't seen in a couple years, hadn't talked to. I'm the psychedelic sheep, you could say, of the family. I'm different. Definitely different, for sure. So I got a text from my dad's phone. I say from my dad's phone because I'm a sensitive, I'm an intuitive, I know. Plus I know my dad. That letter also had a time frame on there that threw me off. So let me point out here. It was a picture of a handwritten letter from my now 9-year-old niece expressing to Santa that she would like to see her Auntie Shell that she hadn't seen in 3 to 4 years. Now, that right there really popped out at me. 3 to 4 years. I'm like, first of all, that's not correct. But secondly, how old is she? What? So I let him know that, well, we can arrange for a Zoom. That way we can video chat, because it's what I use. And it was also that I thought to myself, ooh, I can record it. Yeah. Sabotage on that puppy. I digress. It was 2 days later, so 2 days after Christmas, the Zoom happened, and I was able to talk with my precious, adorable, oh my goodness, wonderfully amazing 9-year-old niece. And she tried, and I'm not those of you who know me, you're going to learn that try, I'm not a fan of the word. Just like Yoda says, there's either do or do not. There is no try. You are doing your best to learn something. You are doing this. Just because it doesn't get the result that you want that first or 20 times doesn't mean you were trying it. It means you were doing it. You were taking that action, so you were doing. Okay? But my niece was trying to teach me how to play some computer video game, and I'm just going to say I'm still confused. Okay? And we were just hanging out. It was great. It was, whatever she wanted to talk about, whatever she wanted to share, I wanted to hear. I wanted to hear, of course. At one point, because I knew this was going to come, and that was why I wanted to record it, which I did not. I talked myself out of it, because it was good. Especially the part when Peggy, the mother figure, the matriarch of the family, all of a sudden appeared in the background behind my niece as she walked through a doorway. Actually, the doorway that used to be my bedroom years ago. The house has been redone to pretty much, at least I haven't been there for years now, but last I was there, the house was pretty much redone where there were barely photos of me. It was literally like I was a ghost. Okay. The other, my brothers and sister, their rooms are all as they were. Last I knew, anyway. So all of a sudden, my sister-in-law says, "Did you say hi to your mother?" And I'm thinking, of course I didn't. Last I knew, you knew that wasn't top of my list. Because the last time I spoke with my sister-in-law, she was telling me how my mother was manipulating her two kids, my niece and nephew, against each other. And that her and my brother were trying to take the kids away from my sister-in-law, who pretty much raised them the first few years of their lives because my brother was serving in the military. So I was just like, no. Next thing you know, Angelina, my niece, shows the camera to my mother and didn't quite get that, my video turned off. However, it was like, "Hello, Mother." And a little curt exchange between us. "Hello, how are you? Fine, good, great, okay." That was it. I was fine. I really have to say I was actually pretty pleased with myself because I didn't feel triggered. For once, I wasn't in that state of being where my mother had my power, where I had given my power to her so that she had control over my state of being. Not this time. Not this time. It was great. And what was really awesome is that all of a sudden my niece says, "Awkward." I fell out. I literally almost fell off my chair. I was laughing so hard. I was like, "You've got to be kidding me. I freaking love you." Now I want to pause really quick. It's totally synchronistic that I'm recording this video, and this is a sweatshirt that I literally have had since high school. And it's kind of funny that it says "Foolin' bees isn't easy" because, again, the manipulation that happens. Well, my niece ends up leaving the room and takes me on the little device to the office, and we're hanging out and talking. At this point, we're on a whole nother level. I literally specifically remember asking her in that time, "So what do you enjoy doing? What do you want to be when you grow up? What excites you?" She's like, next thing you know, my sister-in-law comes into the video, starts playing with my niece's hair, and she starts to say, and I'm paraphrasing here, "Now you know that your Gammy loves you, and that Annie, and we all love each other, and Annie Shell loves you, and we don't need to take sides or anything like that." And my niece and I just kind of looked at each other, and then we were looking at my sister-in-law or her mother, kind of going, "What? We're not down there. We're up here." Because we were. I mean, that when you decide, when you choose here, right? When you choose to not let someone else's shit affect or infect you, there's so much power in that. There's a hair. There's so much power in that, meaning you in your power. So I just kind of was like, okay. I mean, I wished I would have recorded that, because you better believe I would have put it here and put it on blast to show an example of subliminal manipulation, gaslighting, which is the very thing that she learned from my mother, because they did it to each other for a while. And I'm like, no, that is not what we do with the children. We be the change. Well, what apparently happened is, of course, my poor mommy dearest went into flat out victim mode as always. I'll have to tell you about my 16th birthday party and how that went. Is it 16th or 17th? And so much so that my poor niece walked into my mother's bedroom. She was just wandering around with the video, chatting with me. And all of a sudden, my mother was like, "No, get out, get out." And it's like, and my poor Angelina, my poor niece was just like, what? I say again, grown-ups, be grown up. Because I'm here to tell you, my 9-year-old niece is more mature than my 62-year-old mother. And I want nothing to do with any of it. I'm like, my life is so much better. It really, truly is. I wanted to share that with you. I wanted you to be able to see that you don't have to. Period. Goddess, you don't have to put up with anybody's shit. Nobody's toxicity. It does not matter who they are, what label they bear in your life. If they are detrimental to your well-being, mental, emotional, physical, spiritual, cut them out of your life. You've got to love you more. Now, how I often shift this is to also remind you that there are nearly 8 billion people on B with a B, okay? People on this planet. Do not. I mean, you can, but it's not going to be very fun. It's going to keep being shitty. But I'm here to tell you, do not continue to allow someone to treat you like shit. Because on the other side of that is a reflection of how you treat yourself. You don't have boundaries with yourself. You don't have boundaries with other people. You disrespect yourself. You better believe other people are going to disrespect you. All right? You lie to yourself. You disillusion yourself. Guess what? It's going to be mirrored too. It is up to you to look at yourself and look at what is being shown you, especially in the relationships and the circumstances that leave you feeling drained, feeling less than, feeling as though you're carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders. You're so depressed. You feel so miserable. That is not your normal state of being. And you, dear goddess, are so fucking priceless that only one of you exists in all of the universe through all space and time. You're it. That said, it is a privilege, not a right, for anybody to be a part of your life. And the more you show love to yourself, the more you learn how to love yourself and you raise that vibration and you cut that dead weight of the toxic, people, places, and things in your life that are holding you down or making you sick, keeping you stuck in that disempowered, depressive state. You are the catalyst. You gotta cut that shit out. Literally cut it out of your life. And I'm here to tell you, like I've said already, my life is so much better without her in my life. And this entire exchange has me in a space of, and I've got to meditate more on it, of perhaps just having a communication with my dad and just letting him know respectfully, this is where we are. This is where I am. And I've worked too hard and come too far to go back to what no longer serves me. Now, I can and am working through the layers of forgiveness towards my mother. However, that does not change, negate, or erase what happened to me. It's finding that balance between not letting your story, your journey have power over you, but yet you can still share your story and your journey to help others find their power in their story and their journey. Because at this point, I really don't feel guilty anymore. It's not my responsibility to worry about her feelings when I tell my story. Because her telling me at 12 with a steak knife to my wrist to go ahead and do it, to being told, well, at 15, well, you're a mistake, the reason I had to marry your dad and why I'm so unhappy. I mean, I remember exactly where I was in both places, both times. To the surprise birthday that I had planned, and then she canceled 2 weeks before my birthday. I was so excited, and she canceled it. And the reason? Because I said so. Only to discover that she had gone behind my back and instead took the reins and made it a surprise party. And when I kind of looked at her in, flabbergasted, going, I mean, really? Really? She ran off crying, and I had to spend my birthday consoling her because she didn't get it the way she wanted it. And that has been my mother. That has been my experience. And that's not going to say that, oh, she didn't buy that prom dress for me for my senior year. But that's the other thing, is they use stuff to continue to manipulate you. Like, I'm at the point where don't send me a Christmas check. Don't send me I don't want you. Don't buy me. You cannot buy my love. No. I am not for sale. I'm worth a hell of a lot more than that. My computer's being weird. Like, very weird. Anyway, I digress. In order to be the change, in order for anything to change, we have to be the change. We have to say, the buck stops here, baby. The buck stops here. You do not get to drag me into the perpetuation of your bullshit. I'm here on a whole nother level. I am here to be the change. And if that means that I don't have much communication with my nieces or nephews, then that's what it is. It was kind of like when my sister, it took my sister, who we're 10 years apart. So when I was a prepubescent teen, she was terrible too. It was very, very volatile. In addition to the relationship, the very tense relationship that I had with my mother. So it was a very volatile household. And I had to share a room with my sister. She was very spoiled. She was the complete opposite. We got the corporal punishment growing up. I definitely did. In fact, I got in trouble if I couldn't control my brothers when we were left home alone. But my sister, the complete opposite. She never got spanked. She never got really punished. She got whatever she wanted. Whatever she wanted. And I distanced myself then when I went to college and stuff. And even when I moved out here to Arizona, I didn't even tell them when I moved. I literally packed what I could in my truck, got in it, and it was a two-door Ford Explorer Sport, which, just gonna say Ford equals fucked on repeated deals. You know all the things. I'm just saying. Obviously, I gotta work on that too. But that said, this is so weird. That said, though, I lost my train of thought because, again, my computer's being funny here. Just take a pause. Let's have a sip, shall we? Oh, yes, coming to Arizona. I didn't tell him. I lost things, the sentimental things that I entrusted with people I thought were my friends and would take care of it, because I didn't want to go back to my parents' house that much because I didn't want to hear it. I didn't want to hear it from her. But I heard it when I got here. It's actually funny. I called. I left Kansas City, Kansas, 10:30 at night in January of 2002. I drove pretty much straight through. I slept at a truck stop outside Amarillo, Texas for maybe 2 hours until my truck got so cold that inside it woke me up, because we're talking January here. And then I continued on and got here by that next night, and I called my parents' house. And I said, guess where I moved to? I was so excited. I felt so free. It's not to say I didn't bawl my eyes out halfway here out of sheer petrification, going, oh my God, I can't believe I'm doing this. First words out of my mother's mouth. Rochelle Renee, what are you thinking? Thinking I needed to get away from you. That's what I was thinking. And you just showed me I made the right decision. However, here's the thing, dear goddess. Wherever you go, there you are. So everything I thought I was running from there, all the triggers, the self-loathing, that was inside of me. All those triggers are inside of us, inside of you, inside of me. And it wasn't long before all of that became amplified. And, well, then we had the drug dealer pimp and a rape, assault, arrest, drug addiction. Because, yeah, I was a cosmic joke. I believed that I was literally taking up space and using oxygen meant for others. After I had attempted suicide, and I called my dad about a month after, and I told him what happened. And his first words out of his mouth were, well, you can't save the whole world. That's my daddy. I mean, believe me, it is painful that because of one in particular individual, everybody else gets deprived of wonderful, amazing me. And I, them. But at the same time, if it's going to be that kind of manipulation and childish behavior, leave me out of it. I will not be a reason. I won't be an excuse for someone to be childish and vindictive and manipulative to or in front of children. Children don't do what you say. Come on. We know this. I didn't birth children. I've been a nanny, and I love, those of you who, if you follow my Instagram and things like that, you'll find that, I have my little love bug, soul sister's precious 19-month-old daughter that I get to watch fairly regular. She's like a niece to me also. But I know for sure that kids, they do way more of what you do rather than what you say. Now, I know for sure my mother doesn't think too highly of herself either, just as that runs in the matriarchal line of my family. But that's why the buck stops here, baby. The buck stops here. I know I'm here for a mission. I'm here for a purpose. I'm here for a cause. And it's a choice. It's a choice to allow someone else's shit to keep you from what you're here to achieve, from what you've come to be. You don't have power over them. Just as they don't have power over you unless you give it to them. Like I said, for me, that was a Christmas gift that really truly affirmed for me several things. One, how much I'd grown, that I was just like, hello, mother. Okay. Nice chatting. Moving on. Like that detachment of, you no longer have that power over me like you used to. You don't. But that sure as shit doesn't mean you get to come back into my life. Especially watching it all unfold with her spiraling straight into victim mode. And like I said, my sister-in-law thinking she was doing something and coming to tell me basically about taking sides. No, I'm just going to go ahead and see myself on out of it completely. I mean, you all wonder why I don't. I just don't. I got bigger fish to fry. Don't let someone else dim your light. And I mean that in the sense of don't let their shit infect your mind to the point where it tells you that you're a horrible person, you're a mistake, you're a cosmic joke, you deserve all the horrible things that are happening to you. Those are lies. You are so amazing. You are such a priceless gift. As I've said, in all of the universe and through all space and time, there's one of you. One. There will never be another you again. And it's up to you to really, truly allow yourself to see that worth, to see your value just by being you. And for me, it's been one hell of a journey for that. But that's what the self-love empowerment journey is all about. And then this whole twin flame thing. Oh, may pull my sleeves up for that shit. It's a self-love empowerment journey too. It just amplifies it all the more. I sit here finally ready to wrap up this little video. I didn't realize it was almost 40 minutes. I sit before you confident that if I can, you can too. The key is to be patient with yourself, to become aware of how you are sabotaging yourself, of how you are allowing someone else to have power over you. Again, you're not obligated to someone. If they treat you like shit, or they even treat people around them, you're going to choose to have them in your life? Keep making excuses for them? It's up to you. You want different, you got to be different. And that means you'll do different. You got to take different actions so you get different results. And like I said, for me, I'm sitting here going, wow, I'm even more ready now to write my story and tell my story than ever before. I mean, like I said, watching my poor niece kind of just be so uncomfortable, not knowing what was even going on. And none of what was said or happened needed to happen had the grown-ups been acting like they were grown up. Just blew my mind. So, that said, dear goddess, like I said, you are the catalyst. The power is and always has been in your hands. So when you are ready to reclaim your power from anybody in your life, because here's the thing, your twin flame journey, your twin flame connection, ooh, that shit gonna mirror everything. Everything you don't want to see. Everything you don't want to see. And that's something that you're going to want to hear in my next video that I'm going to make about what I've definitely been able to have revealed to me about my twin flames karmic and the breaking through patterns and then boom, brick wall and sabotage. And what this karmic represented in terms of, well, both of our karma in terms of what we are needing to look at in our connection. That said, I think I've said that how many times? You are the catalyst. You deserve an amazing fucking life. And the only one who truly ever stops you from having it is you. You've got to love yourself more than the bullshit excuses that you make for people who treat you like shit. Because otherwise, you let yourself be treated like shit, then, well, you're going to have a shitty experience. That's just how it works. All right? When you are ready to reclaim your power in any aspect of your self-love empowerment journey, your twin flame journey, which again is a self-love empowerment journey, I'm here for you, dear goddess. I do individual intuitive clarity sessions. That's what I pretty much offer at this point. I'm working on relaunching as I'm refining and expanding a little bit my Manifesting with Self-Love program, where all the tools, everything that I use to manifest my trip to meet my twin flame in Goa, India 2 years ago, this next month, January. But also to get my life more under my control, because when you have control, more and more control over yourself, then you feel like you have more and more control in your life, because you recognize that you don't have control over the shit outside of you. You can only control what's inside. Okay? You can book your intuitive clarity session. I do 30 minutes or 75 minutes. You can, claim multiple in advance, because I do only offer so many in each month. 30 minutes or 75 minutes, and you can book yours at empowermentexperiences.com/ICS for intuitive clarity session. It's oracle cards, it's angel numbers, it's animal messengers, it's beautiful, amazing channeled guidance that flows through me in tandem with the mindset, the manifestation, all the 3D tools, techniques, and resources that I have come to know for my own self-love empowerment journey that has gotten me from feeling like and being a doormat in my life to now feeling empowered enough to be, I love me more. I'm not going to let you affect my mood. That's in my hands. Because it is. Okay? I'm here for you, goddess. Please reach out. Book your call. Contact me through my website, empowermentexperiences.com. Make a comment below, like, subscribe to this channel. I'm getting kind of new to all of that. I'm still reminding myself to say that. That said, dear goddess, I will see you in my next video. And like I said, you are the catalyst. The power is and always has been in your hands, because it's always been inside you. Namaste.